Marshall, my microphone is on a stand now, or whatever you call this thing. It's hanging. It's got the right thing. Hopefully, it's working. Yeah, it looks like it's working. I was looking through some video yesterday, and I found our was everything was on Zoom during COVID, and we got pregnant on the beginning of 2020, and then we had a really bad scare that the baby wasn't going to make it with our first trimester sonogram. We had a bad genetic report. Horrible, horrible, like 13 days. Jenny had to get some new tests, and actually the worst time of our life. But right after that, we did the reveal, and I found the video, and it just reminded me. I guess this was like April 2020, if you can remember how bad it was with COVID. I mean, it was a lot of people were on lockdown. A lot of states couldn't work. We had friends that were doing real estate completely virtual. We were coming up with new ways to do our business, not in person. We had been doing Zoom for a couple of years for our daily huddle, which was really helpful because my team all knew how to use Zoom, so that was easy to adopt it. When we were showing houses, we would have sellers get on Zoom. We'd get the buyer get on the Zoom with the buyer agent and the listing agent, and we'd have the seller walk around the house, and the buyers would look at that house. Now, we didn't completely shut down. We never, in Maryland, although we got close a few times, very confusing with our governor. Our industry would have to take a couple of days to figure out exactly what he meant. On certain things, we'd have to get interpretation from attorneys. But so I found the video of our baby reveal, and it reminded me during that time, the one thing, there was so much uncertainty, but the one thing I locked into was my 4:30 to 7:30 work. And I mean, other than finding out what our baby's was going to be a boy, which was awesome. It just reminded me that was the thing. That was the thing I knew was going to happen. There was so much uncertainty. Are we going to shut down? How's this going to work? And we're going out of business. I had real estate transactions fall apart. I had the first one was a doctor. It was a foot doctor. It was all elective stuff, and they got shut. He had to shut down his clinic. He had the house under contract, literally right next door to me. That deal fell apart, and I was like, "Oh man!" Like a doctor. And then we had a couple other deals fall apart. I had my own house under contract. We had just bought this house right before COVID, and the house I was selling was under contract. I thought that might fall apart, and that didn't. Thankfully, that guy was like a CPA for a company. Whatever the case, but the video. That's the one cool thing is you on Zoom. We kept a lot of things. Let me see if I can get this thing to play. It's actually on Dropbox. I just downloaded it. I'm not sure why it's not playing. Let's see here. It was so cute though. We had so many people on Zoom. Can't believe it's not playing. No, man. Yeah, I just downloaded it off Dropbox. But what was funny? Oh, here we go. There we go.
This is the first time that Jenny and Ron will get to find out the gender of their baby, so we want to surprise them and also capture the moment with pictures. So if you guys can get ready, I'm going to step back and then we'll count down from 5.
We had like 80 people on Zoom. We had no idea what the sex of the baby was.
1, pop. Right? I think so. Yeah, that's all we'll do. Okay. Is it ready? 5. Pictures.
I see blue.
That's what we heard. I see blue before we saw anything. It's a boy. It's a boy. Our friend Uni, she couldn't get it open, and then she had a priest that was at her house. Came over to get hers open. Father Lawrence. I ran into him in Matapsco State Park a few weeks later. I was like, Father Lawrence, you just revealed our baby.
We got BBH, his first one.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But that was the only thing I knew was going to happen, and it was the beginning. Well, I started November. It was December, January, February, March. So that was like March, April, and yeah, that's I completely laser locked into it. We were doing these Zoom calls with our whole industry. We were our daily huddle that I did with my team. We would open up. So every time the governor would come out with a statement, I would get with this attorney, title attorney, and he would give us his take on it. And then we had this other broker that was really good at data, and then he would like really analyze what was happening with like showings and things like that. And we would do a daily huddle, and it got up to like a couple hundred agents, and there was nobody else doing anything like it. And I met so many people actually through that period doing these daily huddles. We would just put a message out like, hey, join us 9 a.m. daily huddle. Here's a link. People were all, just learned how to use Zoom. So it was cool. It was that became kind of like a thing. I'm pretty certain people picked up doing daily huddles from that huddle. And we huddle, Monday through Friday. It's that 15, 20 minutes every day is real helpful for us. This is like a little huddle. I think I've definitely said in a lot of videos, it's not a coaching call. I don't spend a ton of time preparing for it because, I'm using that time working on my projects. But so far, I think this is like day 28th. I feel like I've had things that were worthwhile to talk about. But yeah, it was cool going back and looking at our at that video. I bumped into it, looking at some old video files, and it just reminded me how of all the uncertainty in my life at that point, and all of us wondering what COVID was going to do with everything shutting down. The one thing that I knew for sure was going to happen was those 3 hours of work, and I got a book I'm satisfied with because of all of the feedback I got from it and the accolades, and I don't really push it that hard. I've never pushed any of those books hard, but it made the Inman top 10. And people really seem to like it, but can't wait to finish the last one and be done with books. Have a great day. 4:30 psycho challenge. If you just started, keep on going. I had somebody ask last night, hey, can I do it three times a week, 4 times a week, whatever? I said, you can do whatever you want. I said the compound effect of 3 hours a week, 3 hours, 7 days across 90 days is going to be huge. And now if you can only do it, on the weekdays or whatever, do whatever you want. It's not really the challenge. It's not designed that way. You're not going to get the effect. But sure, I mean, if can do 5 days a week. He was saying something about 5:30. I was like, well, I think that's a different challenge. That's the 5:30 challenge. That would be easy, I think. Well, easier. But have a great day. See you tomorrow morning. Take care. Hopefully the sound worked.